what could be the causes of my headaches? This is something that is so common and again, is so mismanaged because people that come into our office have these chronic headaches, and it's amazing what they're being told. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So typically, what are you feeling? So these aren't the like headaches where you have these massive headaches and you're wanting to like throw up and you're very nauseated. Like there's a lot of different types of headaches. These are the ones that are chronic, that are exhausting. Literally, you feel like you're waking up in the morning. You have this brain fog, this low level of pain in your head that gives you this fatigue, that all you want to do is come back home, veg on the couch, not do anything, to basically wake up and do it all over again. You're basically living to work and you're not enjoying anything with your friends or family or anything like that because you are completely wiped out and exhausted. A lot of times you'll go to the doctors and the first thing they want to do is give you medications, or you're being told that there's nothing wrong and that you're crazy. I mean, literally, like we hear this stuff all the time. And I'm here to tell you, you are not crazy. So why can you not get resolutions with your headaches? A lot of this comes down to, we go to the doctor, and if they can't image something to see that there's a problem, then they don't know what to do. So the first line of defense that they're going to give you are medications, and the medications don't work. You could do, different types of pain medications. You can do injections. A lot of times we'll get Botox injections, which help, but then it comes right back again because you're not getting to the source of the problem. And so when nothing's working, the doctors then give you that resort of like, I think that you might be a little crazy. I mean, literally, like I said before, we hear this stuff all the time with our clients. So what are the three common areas of treatments that are missed? So when you have those low level grade, headaches, there's three things that we can look for. And a lot of it comes down to the questioning. So for instance, like if you ask questions like, what can you do to make your pain better or worse? Can you do things that can turn your pain on, or can you do things that can turn your pain off? And when they start saying stuff like, yeah, when I exercise, I start feeling better. Well, that gives us and leads us down the path of, okay, there's a vascular problem, because when you exercise, you basically open up those vessels so that you get more blood flow that can go to your tissues. And when that happens, that means that when you're not exercising, the vessels will come back down to the normal size, so they'll be more constrictive. And so we can start looking at things like, okay, let's put you on an anti-inflammatory diet. Let's do things that can help us improve that vascular component to it so that your headaches will go away. Now, there's other people that they're going to be way more mechanical. And what do I mean by that? There's something that is not moving that's creating some of their problems. And so when they aren't really sure, a lot of times, like, I just have this low level, low grade headache. You start asking them questions like, do you notice that you have a harder time like turning one direction versus the next direction? And often they'll say yes. Sometimes they'll say stuff like, my headaches get worse at night. And then you start thinking, okay, those are, again, mechanical. You're doing something that can create it. You can change your pain. And sometimes people will say they can't change it at all. So when it's mechanical, there's a couple of issues that we look at and we definitely can kind of rule out. One of them is the upper neck. And so it is not just like, oh, go get a massage and it feels better. A lot of times the massage won't work. Excuse me. And sometimes the massage will make it worse. So if you're just looking at the tissue, you've got to again look at how does the body move? Like how does the upper neck move compared to the middle neck, compared to the lower neck, compared to the thoracic spine? Because all of these areas have to be moving correctly, otherwise you'll have issues. So one common area is the upper neck, and we've got to do things to stretch the joints, to make those areas kind of open up. So that's one thing that we look at is the upper neck. But another common area that people don't realize is the thoracic spine. You may not have any upper neck issues, but the thoracic spine is so tight that it's creating those low-level headaches. And as soon as you start mobilizing the first rib or those first few ribs, all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, I'm getting a massive headache right now. I'm like, yep, that's because the ribs need to start moving, and that's where some of your pain's coming from. If you're getting pain at night where it increases more at night than during the day, a lot of times that's more of the thoracic spine that we have to address. So those are the common areas that people miss in treating headaches. And so two exercises, there's a couple of exercises that are my most common ones that I prescribe for headaches. Now, a lot of times we have to progress these, and sometimes one works and the other one doesn't. It all kind of depends on what we find in the evaluation, but these are two that definitely make a difference. So one is a thoracic extension over a towel roll. You want to hold this 2 to 3 minutes and just breathe and relax. Bringing your arms above your head will actually increase that stretch a little bit more. If it's too much, you can bring your arms down by your side. So this is a really common one. And a lot of times, even if this is not fully resolving your headaches, it is definitely a component because we find a lot of tightness in this area. The second area is neck retraction. So when we bring our neck and we bring it back, I always laugh because I give the instructions of it's like someone's coming in for a kiss that you don't want. And they're like, boop. And I'm like, perfect. That's the exact motion. You're bringing the head straight back, giving a little overpressure, and again, kind of holding that position. The reason why we want to hold is because we're trying to stretch that joint. A lot of times what happens when we have these headaches is, we tend to bring our head forward like a turtle brings their head out, like it's more forward. And that takes that upper neck into in range flexion, or actually in range extension. When we go into retraction, it takes it into in range flexion. So we're stretching it the opposite direction because it gets tight when we move in the same positions over and over and over again throughout the day. Our joints can kind of tighten up. So these are joint stretches to start helping open things up. And this in turn will help some of those muscles that get so tight to start releasing, because that's more of a protection mechanism, which is why the headaches don't go away with massage only. So one of the big things, we do in our office is also doing a lot of manual work that will manually stretch not only the joint, but also some of the tissues. And we can get some pretty quick results where people are like, oh my God, I feel so much better within, a couple of visits. They're not resolved by any means, but they feel much better in a couple of visits. And we've had people that have had headaches for 10, 20 years have come in, and 2-3 weeks, they're like, oh my gosh, this is the best I've felt in so long. I'm actually going out to dinner with my husband. I'm doing things with my friends where I wasn't doing that at all. So those are two exercises that you can definitely try. So, check out some things and some other resources that we have. We have a free neck and shoulder pain report. We have a ton of blogs that we write on various topics, plus our latest podcast too. We do podcasts once a week as well. And if you want to work with us, there's definitely some links down below. And make sure you subscribe to this channel to get more great topics and information, education just like this.